Welcome to Artificially Literate. This is the space where, books, films, ideas, they all meet deep thought and curiosity. In every deep dive, we explore a piece of literature, maybe a compelling video, or sometimes a cultural moment. We peel back the layers, looking at the story itself, but also the deeper philosophical meanings. So whether you absolutely love stories, or you're searching for meaning, or maybe you just enjoy a thoughtful takeaway, well, this is your space. It's a place to reflect, learn, and maybe see the world just a little bit differently. Today, we're plunging into a world that, well, it really redefined romance for a whole generation. And beneath all the supernatural stuff, it grapples with some incredibly human questions, about love, transformation, and what it really takes to build a future when everything around you is just constantly changing.
We are delving into Breaking Dawn, the fourth and final chapter of Stephenie Meyer's Twilight Saga.
Yeah, and to really set the stage, let's start with a line from the book. It speaks volumes, I think, about the sacrifice we're going to explore. It's Bella, capturing the sheer intensity of her journey. She says, "The baby, kicking my ribs apart, breaking her way through me piece by piece. That was nothing. That was floating in a pool of cool water. I'd take it 1,000 times. Take it and be grateful."
Wow. Yeah, that quote just it throws you right into the raw, visceral heart of Bella's experience, doesn't it? So our mission today really is to navigate Bella Swan's extraordinary journey from human vulnerability to, well, something entirely new. We'll explore the huge choices she makes, the consequences often totally unforeseen that ripple out from those choices, and the radical redefinition of family, of self, that comes with such a massive change. We'll look at the philosophical questions these things raise and how they might echo in our own, non-supernatural lives.
Exactly. There's a lot to unpack there.
Okay, let's start at the beginning then. Part one, the weight of choice and unforeseen consequences. This covers the honeymoon and that shocking pregnancy. So as Breaking Dawn opens, Bella's right on the edge of this huge change, getting married to Edward, and she's grappling with these words, fiancé, wedding, husband, they feel almost too big. But alongside her own nerves, there's this sadness, especially for her dad, Charlie. He's really hurting over Jacob just vanishing.
And Billy Black, Charlie's best friend, he offers basically no comfort. Won't even put up flyers in La Push. Just says Jacob's grown up. He'll come home if he wants to.
Right. It casts this shadow, this unresolved feeling over what should be a happy time.
It really does. And it's fascinating, isn't it, how Edward immediately shows his love through, well, what he sees as ultimate security, his wedding gift. It's a Mercedes Guardian, 4,000 pounds of armor, missile-proof glass.
Yeah, quite the statement.
Exactly. But for Bella, this huge gesture of protection feels, well, she calls it an embarrassment, a gawking magnet. It draws all this unwanted attention.
So it's protective, but isolating almost.
Precisely. And this difference in perception, it really makes you think, doesn't it? What happens when one person offers what they genuinely think is the best protection, but it just feels overwhelming or like a cage to the other person? It really mirrors real-life relationship dynamics sometimes, where one partner's idea of care feels restrictive. The thing meant to give freedom actually stifles it.
That's a really key point. That gap between intention and how it's received, and that dynamic, Edward's power, having these unexpected results, it just gets deeper on Isle Esme, right? Bella is so eager to, well, fulfill her side of the deal with Edward. She wants that intimacy. But he's terrified of hurting her. He's spent centuries controlling his strength, always holding back.
And then, after their first night, Bella wakes up. She's covered in feathers from a pillow he bit, and her body is, as she puts it, decorated with patches of blue and purple, bruises.
And the really unsettling part, she can't remember the pain. Her human mind just blanked it out in the moment.
And Edward's reaction is immediate horror. "I'm so sorry, Bella," he whispers, sounding just revolted with himself. This throws us straight into a really difficult ethical place, doesn't it? Even with Bella's clear, enthusiastic consent, what are the ethics when the power imbalance is that huge?
Right. He's terrified of causing pain, consumed by guilt. She doesn't even recall the pain, only the pleasure.
So how do you navigate that? Intimacy, consent. When one partner is vastly more powerful physically or otherwise, and the other's experience of the impact is fundamentally different. Philosophically, you start thinking about valid consent. What does valid even mean here when the potential outcomes are so asymmetrical?
It echoes those debates in, medical ethics, right? Informed consent when someone's really vulnerable.
Exactly, where the ability to fully grasp the risks might be compromised. It forces you to really reconsider what harm and care mean in such an unequal dynamic.
Okay, so then their honeymoon, which was meant to be this idyllic escape, takes this completely impossible turn. Bella starts getting these really weird, alarming symptoms. Insatiable hunger, like she could eat the frying pan, extreme fatigue, falling asleep at dinner, sudden, severe nausea, and then the big one. My period is 5 days late.
And there's that internal tiny nudge, the confirmation.
A biological impossibility that suddenly becomes terrifyingly real.
And the sheer, audacity of this plot point,
Yep.
a human vampire pregnancy. It just breaks all the established rules of their world.
It's supposed to be impossible.
Utterly. And yet, it happens. And this makes you think, on a larger scale,
Mm-hmm.
what happens in our world when established biological or scientific laws seem to be broken? Think about reactions to things like, I don't know, CRISPR maybe, or cloning back in the day, things that stretched what we thought was possible.
Yeah, people react strongly. Fear, wonder.
Exactly. How do we, as a society, handle the truly unprecedented, the miraculous or the monstrous that shakes our basic understanding of nature? What systems, medical, social, ethical, get strained or broken?
It forces a total rethink of everything you thought you knew.
Right. And this revelation just completely shatters Edward. He goes into shock, can't move, can't speak, turns into a sculpture, Bella says.
And Carlisle, the doctor with centuries of experience,
Mhm.
he's faced with something entirely new.
He's clinical, but you can hear the strain. He says, the fetus isn't compatible with her body. Too strong. Her body's rejecting every form of nutrition.
I'm watching her starve to death by the hour.
Yeah. And the fetus is growing impossibly fast, accelerating her decline. It's literally consuming her.
This is where it gets into some really intense medical ethics territory, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Carlisle, this ancient physician, faces something beyond all known science. He can't even figure out what it wants. So it raises that critical question. When you're faced with something that breaks all the rules, threatens the mother's life so quickly and directly, how do you possibly weigh the ethics of intervening?
Especially when the fetus itself is this unknown thing causing immediate harm.
Right. It reflects, maybe in a very extreme way, real-world debates. Complex pregnancies with huge risks to the mother, end-of-life care decisions, the very limits of what medicine can do.
Doctors making impossible choices with incomplete information, balancing life against life.
That agonizing moral calculus. And the impact isn't just personal, is it? It rips through the communities.
Yeah, the Cullens and the Kulut pack. Rosalie, who's always longed for a child, becomes Bella's fierce protector, sees this baby as her only chance for motherhood.
While Jacob, he's just consumed by grief and rage, convinced this monster is killing Bella.
And he makes that desperate, heartbreaking offer. She can have half a dozen babies, anything she wants. She can have puppies if that's what it takes.
Such a raw, almost childlike plea. Anything but this.
It's pure desperation to save her.
And this revelation, this impossible pregnancy, it just fractures everything. Loyalties, beliefs, both within the Cullen family and the Kulut pack.
Jacob's pack decides they have to kill the fetus, right, to protect humans based on their treaty.
They see it as an existential threat, yeah. But the Cullens are absolutely committed to protecting Bella and the child, no matter what.
So you have this complete clash.
A total schism. And it makes you think about community, doesn't it? What happens when one individual's survival or the emergence of something totally new and unknown threatens the whole group's existence or their core beliefs?
Historically, fear of the unknown often leads to, well, bad outcomes. Sticking rigidly to old rules, persecuting difference.
Exactly. How do communities reconcile these clashing moral imperatives when what's sacred to one is a monster to another? What loyalties hold and which ones break? It really shows the fragility of peace when core values collide.
Okay, moving into part 2 then. The fire of transformation and the birth of a new world. So Bella is deteriorating fast, really fast, but she is absolutely unwavering. She will carry this baby to term.
Her body is literally wasting away, but her resolve is just iron.
Jacob, others, they try to talk sense into her, but she won't budge. And she keeps having this dream, right?
The green-eyed, angel-faced child.
And when she wakes up, she cries. Not from sadness, but because I woke up. That dream is this powerful vision of the future she's fighting for.
Yeah, her willingness to die for this child, seeing the pain as nothing. It really highlights something profound about parental love, doesn't it? Sacrifice. It goes beyond just self-preservation, beyond simple biology, maybe. It's her perception of the agony that's striking. She minimizes it mentally, sees it as just a passage.
It makes you really think about the depths people will go to for their kids, blurring that line between instinct and conscious choice.
It's an extreme example, obviously, but it resonates. parents sacrifice so much, endure so much pain, physical, emotional, for their children's future. It's this almost transcendent kind of love.
And then comes the climax, Renesmee's birth and Bella's transformation, the agony.
The bewildering fire of the venom spreading through her.
But the worst part, the morphine they gave her earlier, it paralyzes her. So she can't scream. She's trapped, experiencing this unimaginable torture in total silence.
It's horrific. And what's so captivating there is that paradox of pain and control, her internal struggle. She consciously fights to stay silent because she knows her screams would torment Edward.
Wow, even in that agony.
Yeah, an incredible level of self-control, empathetic sacrifice under the absolute worst duress. She calls it a hideous joke. The painkillers making it worse, trapping her.
So it makes you think how much of our strength, our identity, is defined not just by the pain we face, but by how we control our reactions, even the hidden ones.
Exactly. Those silent battles fought inside, suggesting true strength isn't always loud or obvious.
And then, out of that fire, Renesmee, the impossible child.
And her development is just astonishing. She looks weeks, months old within days.
That shiny bronze-colored hair, the chocolate brown eyes, and that adult, aware, and intelligent gaze.
And her unique ability showing thoughts through touch. Instant, unfiltered understanding. No words needed.
Imagine that, if we had that kind of communication. Touch-based, bypassing language, prejudice.
How would that change everything? Diplomacy, arguments, relationships, would it challenge power structures built on secrets or spin?
Could lead to deeper empathy or maybe reveal too much.
That's the question, isn't it? Would total transparency always lead to harmony? Or would unfiltered access to minds reveal new conflicts? It's fascinating to consider.
And as Renesmee arrives, Bella awakens. New vampire existence.
Raw, massive strength, crystal, musical clarity of senses, everything heightened.
And she almost immediately discovers her own unique power, the shield. Mental protection she can extend to others. Defensive.
Edward encourages her to train it, hoping it's a way she can protect them without being in direct physical danger. Her power is unique.
She feels overwhelmed, confused at first, but also like me. Sort of.
Yeah, she embodies a different kind of strength. Not offensive, like some vampires, but this potent, protective mental gift.
So it makes you ask, what defines a hero? Or power? Is it always about attacking?
Or can huge strength be found in defense? In control, empathy, protecting others? Bella's shield suggests that protecting, preventing harm can be just as game-changing, maybe more so than inflicting it. It really redefines power.
That's a great point. Okay, just a quick reminder here, if you're finding this deep dive into Breaking Dawn thought-provoking, maybe connecting some of these ideas about identity and sacrifice to your own thoughts, remember you can follow Artificially Literate. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube with more discussions linking literature and life.
Absolutely. And speaking of those profound, unexpected connections, the ones that just defy expectation, Edward's reaction when Renesmee first touches him shares her thoughts. This is just pure wonder, he whispers, sounding completely dazed. He loves you. He absolutely adores you.
Such a powerful moment of connection.
Okay, let's move into the final part, part 3, forging a future in the face of destiny.
So, the peace they hoped for doesn't last long. Irina from the Denali Coven sees Renesmee and reports her to the Volturi.
She thinks Renesmee is an immortal child. A human child turned vampire, which is strictly forbidden. Highly dangerous, uncontrollable.
But Irina's judgment is clouded, isn't it? By her own past trauma. Her mother was executed by the Volturi for creating immortal children.
Exactly. That trauma fuels her rigid interpretation of the law. And crucially, she wasn't close enough to Renesmee. Didn't hear the heartbeat, feel the warmth. She saw only what her trauma and the law told her to expect.
She couldn't see the truth.
Which is captivating, in a tragic way. How her personal history, her rigid adherence to rules, just completely blocked critical thinking, blocked her from seeing the actual evidence right there.
It's a stark warning, really. How often do our own preconceived notions, our past hurts, or just inflexible rules blind us, lead to injustice, conflict?
It really underscores the need for critical inquiry, empathy, seeking the full picture before judging, especially with the unknown, moving beyond dogma.
And amidst this looming threat, Alice shows her strategic brilliance, her foresight.
Yeah, she sees the Volturi coming, sees it'll be a lost battle if they just wait for them.
So she disappears with Jasper, not running away, but a calculated move.
Right. 2 main goals. Gather witnesses who can attest to Renesmee's true nature, and maybe even more importantly, keep her own power seeing the future out of Arrow's hands. He'd exploit it.
And before she leaves, she gives Bella that note and the backup plan, documents from Jay Jenks for Renesmee to escape if needed, planning for the absolute worst.
Incredible foresight. And connecting this to the bigger picture, Alice's actions just highlight the power of long-term strategy and self-sacrifice for a greater cause. She's not just predicting, she's actively shaping the future through calculated risks, even if it means temporary separation, uncertainty for her family.
It raises that question, doesn't it? How much do we value long-term strategy versus immediate action or safety?
Alice's approach suggests real strength can lie in foresight, preparation, even strategic retreat, not just head-on aggression. It's intellectual warfare almost.
So with Alice gone, the Cullens, led by Carlisle, they launch this global mission.
Yeah, gathering witnesses, Denalists, Irish, Amazonians, nomads, all coalition.
And Renesmee's gift is key again. Showing her thoughts through touch convinces the skeptics.
As Carlisle says, it's difficult to doubt our story when you see it for yourself. That direct experience cuts through everything.
Forging this temporary but crucial alliance.
And this really highlights the power of collective truth, doesn't it? The need for diverse voices to challenge a dominant prejudice narrative. Just gathering all these different vampires, different gifts, perspectives. It turns a defense into this powerful display of unity and evidence.
Like Maggie from the Irish Coven, who can tell if someone's lying. Her presence adds huge credibility.
Exactly. And it makes you ask, in our world of echo chambers and misinformation, how do we actively seek out diverse testimonies, value different perspectives to get to a fuller truth? It shows that truth, presented clearly, widely through many credible voices, can be a powerful force against prejudice and dogma.
Okay, so it all leads to the showdown, the standoff.
Yeah, the Volturi arrive. Ancient, disciplined, almost chillingly expressionless.
And facing them, the Cullens' diverse, emotionally charged, newly formed coalition.
Arrow, the leader, is clearly greedy for more power. He wants Alice's gift, Delis.
And this is where Bella's shield becomes the absolute game changer. She extends it, protects everyone from Jane's pain illusion, Alec's sensory deprivation.
Neutralizes their most powerful weapons.
It's fascinating that the confrontation isn't resolved by fighting, is it?
No, not really. It's resolved by truth, preparation, the sheer weight of the witnesses, and Bella's defensive shield is pivotal. It stops their main psychic attacks cold.
Arrow, who learns through touch, is frustrated. Alice is gone. Bella's shield is impenetrable. He can't gain the intel or the power he wants.
Right. And it makes you wonder if this signals a shift. Is power moving away from brute force, aggressive attack, towards nuanced protection, towards incontrovertible truth, collective strength?
Suggests defensive, empathetic strengths can be just as formidable, maybe more so, forcing old power structures to bend.
Exactly. And then there's Jacob's role in this new future. His imprinting on Renesmee.
Right, making him her protector and solidifying his place in this very unconventional Cullen family.
And his move with Charlie, revealing his werewolf form. It's brilliant in a way.
A red herring, as Bella calls it, gives Charlie a partial truth he can handle, keeps him connected without exposing him to the full vampire danger.
He tells Charlie basically, the world isn't what you thought, but life goes on. You can pretend you don't believe this part. It's this amazing workaround.
Allowing Charlie to stay in their lives, embrace this new reality in a manageable way.
So what does this tell us about family? Jacob, Bella, Edward, Renesmee. It's truly blended, unconventional, defies biology, species, everything.
Jacob's act with Charlie shows this messy but beautiful, empathetic solution to keep connections alive.
Yeah. It makes you rethink family, doesn't it? Less about blood or structure, more about loyalty, love, protection, choosing to stand together, even across impossible divides.
It's about commitment and adaptation, prioritizing love and safety over convention.
Precisely. And with the Volturi gone, Bella fully embraces her new vampire life.
Powerful, realized. Her love for Edward feels boundless, eternal. Her bond with Renesmee is deep.
They settle into their cottage, a sanctuary. Edward gives her gifts, clothes, a car that suits her new senses.
And she reflects on that paradox. Never going to get tired of Edward, but always going to want more.
Which brings her to that beautiful phrase, the first and last day of forever.
Capturing this endless, rich new existence.
And that idea, living forever, experiencing that, it raises big questions, doesn't it? What does eternity mean? Does losing mundane human needs, sleep, hunger, aging, death, does that diminish existence or enhance it?
Bella finds her purpose in deepened love, protection, not just endless novelty.
Right. It suggests that even in immortality, those core human desires, connection, purpose, meaning they persist, maybe even become heightened, more profound, without mortal limits.
It's a fascinating exploration of what it means to be alive, even when life itself is totally redefined.
Absolutely. And to wrap up this deep dive, to capture that profound shift, that embrace of forever, here's one last quote from Bella, reflecting on it all. I was just thinking, today is the first and last day of forever. It's kind of hard to wrap my head around it, even with all this extra room for wrapping.
Perfect. So we've journeyed through the complex, emotional, philosophical landscape of Breaking Dawn. We've seen radical transformations, huge sacrifices, and a complete rethinking of family. Bella's journey, even with all the supernatural elements, really challenges us, doesn't it? To think about our own ideas of identity, love, and what we do for the people we cherish, even when things feel impossible.
It definitely leaves you with a lot to think about.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Breaking Dawn here in Artificially Literate. We really hope this discussion sparked some new thoughts, gave you some fresh insights into the story, and maybe its echoes in our own world. If you enjoyed this, please do check out our other deep dives. You can follow Artificially Literate on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube for more topics like this. And stay tuned for our next book. Until next time, remember, feed your brain, starve your inner fool.